recognize Mr. Graves of Louisiana to speak on his amendment for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, I just want to commend the committee's attention to section 7005 of the bill in regard to the debate on the last amendment. That section earmarks $830 million for Amtrak's Northeast Corridor. So in effect, there actually is earmarked funds.
Just remind the gentleman he has been recognized to speak on his amendment.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, so in the bill, section 7005 does have $830 million for that purpose. That's targeted funding. Mr. Chairman, in regard to amendment number 11, last year, MARAD was authorized the Maritime Transportation System Emergency Relief Program that provides emergency relief to maritime in the maritime industry for instances such as the pandemic. This is something that had bipartisan support. We have seen, as I noted under the transit funding, 69, including the funds in this bill, $69 billion being dedicated toward transit programs. Yet other forms of we have the PSP for aviation. Other means of transportation are not getting assistance, yet are experiencing impacts. This simply would set funds aside and make the Maritime Transportation Emergency Relief, Maritime Transportation System Emergency Relief Program eligible for funds under this legislation. It has the support of ports across the United States, knowing the impacts on those entities that are struggling and why we're coming in and picking winners and losers within the transportation sector. I'm not sure I fully understand. I think we ought to be taking an approach that truly looks at value to taxpayers, where the greatest impacts are, and how to ensure that these limited taxpayer dollars that are being spent efficiently and effectively. So with that, Mr. Chairman, I yield back, urge adoption of the amendment and yield back.
And so I would urge a no vote on this particular amendment.